Hi everyone, I hope you all are shocked as me to read this news line. Yes, India has done the impossible. India is now one of the top 5 biggest economies in the world, and what's more shocking is that they've managed to surpass UK to achieve this. Now, we know that India was one of the former British colonies of UK, and being one of the former British colonies of UK, they've had a longer path to this growth. UK has pretty much been in the top 5 for a very long period of time. But India slowly but surely has managed to break this record. India was able to get the support of the significant growth in the last quarter of 2021, and this growth has propelled India to move and surpass UK. Now, who is giving these figures? Who is telling that India has surpassed UK? It is the IMF, International Monetary Fund. When they issued their GDP figures in US dollars, they announced that India has overtaken UK with a healthy margin. Now we know UK has been battling a lot of internal crises. They've faced rising cost of living, they're facing a political change, unprecedented political change, and battling all these issues, they've been busy. But India, slowly but surely, has managed to sneak up and overtake UK's performance. Now, we can't say that we never saw this coming. There were economists who predicted that yes, India will surpass UK and be one of the top 5 economies in the world. But as per their prediction, they expected this change to come in another 5 years' time. Yes, they forecasted this to occur by 2027. India has been strong enough to report this growth 5 years before itself. So if you see this graph, the black line here shows the growth of UK. The blue line shows the growth of Indian economy. You could see for a very long time the gap between Indian economy and UK is very high. But after 2014 and a little close to 2020, India has been able to up its growth levels, whereas UK has declined in terms of growth, especially after the financial crisis. And now, post pandemic, with the cost of living shock coming in, there has been a significant dip in the UK economy. Indian economy has been able to capitalize on every opportunity possible and is now propelling forward. Yes, the yellow line here shows the forecast for India's growth, and the pink line shows the forecast for UK growth. You can see how in another 5 years they expect the difference between India and UK to expand, so that India becomes one of the leading economies having a very good margin over UK's performances. Now, what were their growth figures? IMF says in terms of nominal GDP that India was able to record nearly $855 billion of a GDP. UK on the other hand only managed to record $816 billion as their GDP figure. UK has been showing a decline in their growth. In terms of nominal figures, even though they show a growth, and that too a very marginal growth of 1%, especially in the second quarter of this year, after they adjust this growth for inflation, the growth shrinks to only 0.1%. But whereas if you take India for this second quarter of 2021, let me go to that article. In the second quarter of 2021, they're able to report nearly 13.5% of a growth. Now, standing here comparing India and UK, we are saying that India's growth is massive. But for India, when they compare their year on year, in 2021, in the second quarter, they managed to record 20.1% as their growth. So this second quarter of 2022 is actually a slowdown from them. But even with this slowdown, they're able to beat UK. And now India is in an elite club, joining hands with US, China, Japan, and Germany. Yes, if you take the top five economies in the world, three belong to Asia. So India is now one of the Asian powerhouses. Before closing off, just to remind, you could see that India 10 years back was the 11th largest economy while UK continued to be the fifth. Now 10 years later, it's a whole different ball game. Thank you so much for listening in. Subscribe to Learning Business for more videos.